It's a fucking mistake factory. That's what that is. I just found a whip, mask, and some handcuffs in my sister's room. I had no idea she was a superhero. I was going to change sister, but then I was like, Mom, no, that's weird.
Alrighty, welcome to the first episode of Bros, Bumps, and Beers of 2021, episode 31. I am Pat. He is Matt. He is Jordan. I am the EST of Triple B. He is Matt 2T's Gagne. And we have the producer, the jackhammer, Jordan Schofield. Gentlemen.
I thought you were changing. You changed the intro a bit, and I panicked.
I tried.
Did you see my face?
Throw you for a loop.
Did you see my face? I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
But you know what didn't change? Oh, yes.
I already opened mine.
Yes.
So nothing's changed.
Oh, I'm going to open the one I'm tasting in a second, but I'm
Matt's. This is the first time I've ever seen Matt have a warm-up beer before the one that he's going to drink.
Yeah, I feel like he's trying to mentally prepare himself for it, and I think he needs to be.
It's tough. I
usually have a warm-up beer. You guys just don't see it.
And I felt sick after. No, but this is like you have a warm-up beer, but it's a normal craft beer. You're having a Bud Light Lime, which is essentially like a water. So
hey, don't knock Bud Light.
I'm not saying it's shit, but Matt usually gets like a 7% or a 6% IPA as his warm-up beer, and this is like a 4.5%.
I saw this Bud Light Lime at the LC, and I was like, I want a Bud Light Lime.
It's so fucking green.
Yeah, it's like piercing my eyeballs.
It's like, and the letters are just like Bud Light, like big block letters to the face.
But honestly, like a Bud Light Lime on a hot summer day, I don't know if not much can beat that.
I had one of the most bitchin' rattlers the other day called Beach out of Strathcona.
Oh yeah,
and I was shocked when I drank it. I was like, oh, I could have 25 of these. Like they were so good. Remember summer?
Are you guys at the point now though? Just before we go into whatever we're going to talk about, isn't the point right now where when you say, "Oh, I gotta have 25 of these," you're like, "Ooh, I could actually probably have 25 of these."
But that's the thing, right? Like a Radler, like if over the course of the day, if we're talking like a day drink, I think so. I think if you spaced it out and you went coast to coast,
I can easily. I think remember those like party packs of Bud Light regulars and Bud Light limes?
Yeah.
Like they were like 12 packs. I could polish that off in a day, no problem, and not even feel a thing.
We used to do. What were they fucking called? Bud Light Bullets? No, help me here. Budweiser, they were like black and they were 6%.
Platinum.
Platinum was Bud Light. Yeah. Okay, those were Bud Light Platinums. But there was another, I think it was called like the Coors Shots or so.
Oh, the cold shots. Cold shots.
We used to just hoon those before going to the bar.
You crush 3 of those before you go to the bar and you just
buy an 8-pack, split it with somebody, and just shotgun all 4. And
we used to play. Everyone calls it something different, but we used to play it. We used to play goalposts, which is where you put it on the corner of the ping pong table. We called it goalposts or 4 corners. We used to play that with the Bud Light Platinum cans or bottles. Those things bounced ping pong balls like trampolines. Like you would hit it, and it might if you threw it hard, like it was a projectile. You could.
You know what, Jordan? You and your family are weird. Every time I used to go over there, when we used to be able to go to people's houses, it's like, hey, you want to come over for a couple drinks? I'm with my family, and you go there, your mom and your dad's there, and it's like, hey, you want to play beer pong? I thought we were just hanging out.
That is what will happen. I guarantee, like age will not deaden that. Like I think. My sister and I will be, I'll be 35, she'll be 29, and we'll be in the back hooning. Like, and it's not belligerent beer pong either. It's like very well controlled 7 games of beer pong.
No, it's not even casual. It's like Matt could vouch for it. It's like the most intense beer pong, like from the standpoint of like you're trying to win.
Oh my! Okay, I just said that we don't play hard. Like that's the difference. I know in your mind, you're like, what is happening? And we're just playing a casual game of beer pong.
Yeah, but there's like there's Schofield family regular, but that's like intense for a normal family.
Yeah, it's like violent volleyball. Like volleyball where we're swearing at people and talking shit to everybody.
Yeah. Let's not forget that I played 1 year of volleyball with Jordan on my team and then quit abruptly because I was just like, for the sake of our friendship, I just can't do this.
Pat left in the last year of what I would say was really bad Jordan. I actually polled the team after the last season and was like, am I better? And they're like, actually, yeah. Like, you've mellowed out quite a bit. I was like, yes.
Yeah, but when you're
personal
at a 10
growth
and you mellow out to a 7.
Yeah, you're down to a 7.
Yeah.
Now you're only punching the ground instead of threatening to hit someone else. Yeah, that's a big improvement.
That is good.
Yeah.
If you know what, let's just keep the sports going because something's been bothering me. I don't know what it is.
Nice transition.
Right. It's this time of year. I don't know what it is. It's always in the NFL season. You know what I hate the most about some sports fans? When a team that their friend loves does something good, they'll congratulate somebody for it.
Like they did it, right?
I am so upset every time. Like over the weekend, I think it was Paul congratulated our buddy James. Shout out James. He goes, "Hey James, congratulations." And I go, "Oh, we're doing this again?" Like, why are you congratulating the fan? I will
gladly play devil's advocate on this because I die hard 3 teams and then watch football. Really, that's my sports. I mean, it's like Buckeyes, Packers, Maple Leafs. Every game doesn't matter.
Toronto FC as well.
I mean, listen, I'll watch as much as I can, but I'm not like moving my day around to watch them play the Columbus Crew.
We went to Jordan's place to drink before we went out. And when we get there, I walk in and there's a Toronto FC game on the screen. Apparently it was the MLS final.
It was the final,
like, I look around like, are we fucking watching this? Why are we watching this? And Jordan's like, he was like very aggressively, because Toronto FC's in it. And I'm like,
again, okay. I don't think it was aggressive. I think that was just Jordan.
Yeah, that was just me telling you why that was. Yeah. So I'll play devil's advocate here as someone who feels emotionally and is literally financially, sadly, sometimes too invested in these teams. I feel like if you really give a shit, you go through the trials and tribulations, and other people know that as a fan. I get like that's where I get it, but I see what you're saying. If you look at it existentially,
let me just get something straight.
That's like me congratulating you on I can't even think of a.
Okay, let's just get one thing straight.
There is no comparable.
No, I can't.
No, there is. That's like a wrestler Red Sox fan.
That's like if Roman Reigns wins, and I'm like, congrats, Pat.
Yeah, no, that's dead fucking wrong.
Why is that wrong?
It's like if the Boston Red Sox. I'm a diehard Boston Red Sox fan. The last time they won the World Series, I did not expect anybody to congratulate me. You know why? Because I didn't fucking do anything.
Man, you watched though. You invested your time.
So
time is money, baby. If I am gonna watch a Packers game every weekend and they play poorly, that's a personal affront to me.
You know what, Jordan? You're a guy who likes a good participation ribbon. That's what you're telling me right now.
You know what? Listen, if you participate as fucking hard as I do, damn right.
So hang on, you're telling me if somehow the Winnipeg Jets win the Stanley Cup in the next 3-4 years. Jordan, you're not a Jets fan. You're a Maple Leafs fan.
I was going to say, I tell you all to shove it up your ass.
Are you going to congratulate every Winnipegger you see at the parade?
No, because I directly correlate with this. I dislike the Jets because I get so much hate as a Leafs fan. But I will say this. If, you guys were fucking Avalanche fans and they won, I'd be like, okay, that's pretty cool. Why? I think it's congrats that's cool. It's not like congrats that, you helped them win. It's like, congrats, you're a fan. It's hard to win shit. And they did enjoy it.
But you didn't win anything.
Yeah, but you watched your team win. You have rooting interests.
My 2 takes on this are, number one,
I'm sweating.
I think if you live in the city.
I'm watching Cops.
If you live in the city, I feel like congratulating the person is, even if you're not a fan, is kind of dumb.
Yeah, because it's everybody here. It's like everyone.
Yeah, Jordan's not going to congratulate everybody
every single person in Winnipeg.
So then, why are we congratulating a person who likes?
Hold on.
Let him finish. Fuck.
But I think the other thing is that if you're congratulating them and they're just a fan, I do understand where you're coming from, Pat. But I understand Jordan's emotional investment. Kind of, well, but here's my take on both of those put together. At the end of the day, I don't congratulate somebody if they finish watching Friends
But isn't sports different though? Like, isn't sports like visceral,
but
competitive?
Jordan, by your definition of your time invested, every time you finish a beer from now on, I'm going to congratulate you
I
for
think the
finishing a beer.
congratulations things comes from the competitive aspect of it.
No, yeah, and
I think that's what it
understand
is. I think it's because like you are going against another group of people every time, like as a fan. Like, you know what? Here's this. Go tell a soccer hooligan.
No, I don't want to get punched out. I don't want to get punched out.
So that's what I'm saying. I think, you know what? I'll take congratulations. So one of those like Arsenal fans I see on AFTV doesn't like try to stab me in the face.
Pat, you're a Boston Red Sox fan. Go walk into a bar in South Boston wearing a Yankees
But that's
jersey.
the city. That's the city. You just made that point earlier.
If you walk around in a Maple Leafs jersey in Winnipeg, you're not going to get attacked.
Yeah, physically no. Emotionally, yes.
Yes.
I've worn a Toronto versus everybody shirt in this city, and I will say I didn't think that through. That was a long day.
The most Jordan fucking thing I've ever.
It was a very long day.
God,
there's a lot of like sideways glances.
No, but that's what I'm gonna do now. Every time one of you finishes a beer, I'm gonna congratulate you. So
you should definitely not do that because it's gonna get real annoying real fast.
I have the option.
Congratulations for finishing your beer earlier.
All right, we're muting him. But no, like I get what you're saying, Pat. Like I think it's one of those things that only people who watch sports would understand. Like you asked that question as if you didn't, and I could see how like my Ree would be like, why are you doing that?
Here's a bit of a devil's advocate aspect to that though. Okay, so yes, the congratulations is something completely different than what I'm about to say, but do you ever watch like an intense playoff game or something that your team's in, the team you like, and the ups and downs of everything?
Not as often as I'd like.
Yeah, but and then the game's over, and whether they win or lose, you're just like, it feels
you're
like
fucking emotionally spent, bro.
You're just spent.
Yeah, I understand.
The Jets playoff run where they lost to Vegas in the conference final, like that was like an every other night commitment that I made. When they finally got eliminated, I sat there with the TV off and just stared at the blank screen. And Jen was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm just like kind of done right now. Like I don't even know how to explain it."
Yeah, and you know what? I understand that. Like if you think back to when the Red Sox won their first World Series in like a billion years, greatest team of all time, by the way. And I watched every inning. I was in high school, and I watched every inning of that World Series run. And after I did it, and it was over, I looked at the screen. And I'm like, man, that's cool. I didn't go to school the next day assuming someone would congratulate me. That wasn't the expectation.
I would say the most hours I watched a team in a year is something you guys would never expect. It was last year's Raptors. Or no, sorry, the year before, like the year they won. Because I think from the beginning, like I would casually watch basketball, and then I started watching, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like this seems like something really good. Like maybe really, really good. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, like let's dig in. Like let me try and watch basketball. And I think I watched like coast to coast. I think it was like, and I was also on the road, so I had nothing else to do. I think I watched like 50 or 60 full games, which is and all the playoff games.
Yeah, but it's I only do that like it's gratifying to win, but you don't. I shouldn't be telling you congratulations. You didn't fucking.
I see what you're saying. I could just see how like if you're someone who gets like if you give that much of a shit about your own teams and you don't care about the like for example, Pat, I thought about this the other day. I thought you'd like to hear this. If the Packers get knocked out, I hope the Bills win the Super Bowl because I think I like the Bills makeup. I like Josh Allen. I like the team like dynamic. I've liked, I liked all of that for a while.
Because both our teams are in the playoffs.
Yes.
I think it's important that we have a friendly little wager.
I would love to do that because you know what, actually, I am a big believer in bad sports juju. I will say nothing nice about the Packers because if I was going to say something nice about the Packers, holy fuck, are they a wagon? However, God, it's like one of the best teams I've ever seen. But
okay, so how about we do something to the effect of this? Whoever team gets further in the playoffs, the loser has to post a video on the Bros Bumps and Beers Instagram story, hyping up the other person and saying how great they are, and that message is written by the other person.
Okay, I think that's fair. I accept that right now, unequivocally. With no arguments.
Matt, witness?
I am witnessing this, taking mental notes.
I would like to now propose an addition, though. One,
Okay.
since you've agreed to this already, you guys came second, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have an extra game than we do. Perfect. Because we have the bye. So I'm glad that we hammered out an agreement to that. That's business 101. That's me just being like, yes, I agree to your terms. This is literally stacked in my favor already. If they play each other in the Super Bowl, the bet gets amended to something insane. Like,
absolutely.
Ratchet that up land.
Oh yeah, if they're both in the Super Bowl, all bets are off, and we're just doing something else.
If they're in the Super Bowl, I will find a thong of the winning team, and the loser has to wear it on the Instagram story.
Wow.
That's almost like have to watch it together territory.
Oh, for sure.
If we even can. But
COVID be damned.
Oh, right. I guess we won't be able to. Oh, yeah. Fuck.
We'll figure it out.
But I like that. I like that bet. I'm down with that bet. Yeah. I'll shake on that virtually.
All right. So
Matt witnessed a virtual handshake.
Okay, but I'm sorry for everybody who's not big sports fans this episode, but we're going to dive deeper a little bit into sports now, okay?
I mean, if you're listening to a beer and wrestling podcast, unless you're a hipster, you're probably a sports fan.
Wow.
Well, no, I could only think of that's the only group of people who I think might like beer and might like wrestling. Oh, maybe nerds.
Nerds like sports.
We're nerds.
Yeah, we're nerds. I think nerd culture and jock culture have just slammed together more than people would ever guess. Because I think jocks play video games, and
you know what I'm really into right now is chess. Those people are after
chess. That's hard.
Well, yeah. Whatchamacallit, the Gambit show is fucking awesome.
I watched that and I was like, man.
Yeah. But anyways, so over the weekend, or I guess yesterday, considering today's Monday, and it was 3 days ago when you're listening to this.
What day is it right now?
So basically, the Eagles tank jobbed their game against the Washington football team.
It was,
which knocked out the Giants from.
Pat, congrats on catching yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disavow.
But yeah, so I have a question for both of you because you're both sports fans.
Yep.
Tanking. Are you okay with it?
Matt, you want to go first?
I will go first.
As someone whose team actively tanked and it turned out really well, so you go ahead, Matt.
Who?
The Leafs.
Oh.
People don't talk about it. That season was a tank.
Oh yeah.
And they got Austin Matthews.
If you are going to, and that's why I think the rules in sport with the drafts now, with the draft lotteries, where you just get a better chance at the number one pick.
Yeah.
I feel like that sucks because some of these teams, they're not trying to be that bad. But if you're going to tank, if you're going to be absolutely horrible, I say all the power to you. If you're going to do it right and just be terrible, why not?
I agree with that.
There has to be people that are bad in the world. There has to be people that are good in the world. And sometimes, after a while, those roles get flipped, and that's just how the world works.
The two arguments I make where tanking is fine is this. My first argument is that if you are going to choose as an organization to tank, I think it's one of those things where if you do it once and it doesn't work out, I think it's just such a self-owned risk for yourselves because I'm thinking of teams like the fucking Edmonton did it for years and those fans kept coming back. And I guess if you're gonna tank and your fans are gonna keep coming back, then what's the downside, right?
Well, and I mean, with the Eagles, they're what was the big deal? They tank, they go from 9th pick to 6th pick. That's a big deal.
The most important draft in sports is the NFL draft in terms of what can turn your franchise around from the word go. By the way, the Jets should not take a quarterback. I think Sam Darnold is actually better than anyways. It's the NFL one is one I get. Now basketball is one where I'm okay, what do you like? Okay, yeah, I get your tanking, but if you get the third
NBA
round,
depends on the year. If it's a good draft year, tank away.
So does NHL. After the 5th pick in the NHL, I feel like it's a little free.
NBA
baseball's banana land if you're really tanking.
Actually, baseball, if you're gonna tank, that's a sport to do it in.
Really?
Yeah, you tank in baseball for 2 years. The amount of really good players you can get.
Oh, you get stock. I guess the Astros came out.
Yeah, exactly.
They were just
Astros are a perfect example.
And not on trash cans.
They're banging trash cans. They were so excited.
I think basketball, because it's only 2 rounds, if the draft is good and you tank, you can completely turn your franchise around. That being said, there's so many bad teams in basketball.
Yeah, but the thing I'm saying is like in basketball, for example, if you're gonna finish the year and if you lose one more game, you jump from 9th to 6th.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that. You're gonna put out your scrubs and you're gonna lose on purpose because the 6th player in the NBA draft is usually way better right away compared to the 9th player.
I think perspective is also interesting, and my second point is this: I think if you're a hardcore fan of any sort of NCAA college sport, you learn very quickly to be happy with whatever you perceive as winning. So, like, I'm pretty lucky. I happened to pick Ohio State when I was younger. They happen to be, once again, a fucking wagon. But if you're like a hardcore fan of like Missouri and you went to Missouri, sometimes you're like, well, guys, we won the Mayo Bowl and this is a banner year, you know? Like, we won the Armed Forces Bowl against the 7th best team in the Big Ten, and by God, what a great year it was. So I think it's like pro sports is different, but I think there's like, for me, there's always a lot of perspective because I happen to watch a lot of sports where you look around and there's a lot of haves and have-nots. Rugby's like that too, right? Where like Canada goes to the World Cup and you're like, great, here comes a murder in every game. It's like 40-0, 36-0, but...
You asked us, Pat, what's your what's your feelings on tanking?
I think Pat's with us on that.
Well, with me with tanking, okay, it really depends on your situation. Okay, like the Eagles, they don't have problems enticing free agents. Teams that can entice free agents to come to them, like if you're the Lakers, you don't really need to tank. Like
that's a different situation because the Lakers were bad, fans wouldn't come.
I think that's powerful. I think that's so powerful to an organization.
If we could ask our good friend Shamil that. I don't know.
Shams as bandwagon as it gets.
I feel like they don't really need the fans, but a full barn every night looks really good.
That's the problem with hockey fans, though. When the Leafs sucked, I was saying for years, like, just don't stop paying for shit. But it's corporations, it's not people anyways.
Yeah, for me, it just depends on the team situation, but I'm all for tanking. If you can tank and you get the best fucking player possible, tank away, man. Let's go.
Football's smart because they've made everything around the game more fun than the game. So even if your team is dog shit, like when the Bills sucked, it was still like one fun-ass time to go to.
Oh, right? Absolutely.
So I think teams are genius for making it like that's what baseball needs to do, frankly. Like they need to make it way more fun to go to any game.
It is, and that's so why fun to go to every game.
Baseball is fun to go to.
You just don't like baseball, then.
Are you drunk? Are you telling me? So you have basketball.
At baseball games, I am.
But if you compare it to basketball, to football, to all the other major sports, baseball is by far the worst viewing experience in a stadium.
Which is why baseball is going towards more like gourmet concessions.
It's an experience. They're making it an experience.
So they're moving it more towards like high financials. Which is for older people?
No, it's because the gourmet food is like not super pricey. Like it's affordable.
It's concession food.
Baseball needs to cut its games down to 120 and play 7 innings a shot.
That's insane.
I'll watch it. I want it to be like the stupidest
thing. Jordan, you've said a lot of stupid stuff on this show. That is the dumbest thing you've ever said.
Make it like rugby. I want it to be like 7.
Hold on.
Fast.
Did you know a baseball game? The average baseball game is as long as the average football game, and there's actually more action in a baseball game.
Damn straight. You tell him that.
Action is debatable. One, in baseball, I don't see anybody get their head taken off, which is super boring. Like, I don't see any brain injuries unless we get really lucky and a ball gets hit at a pitcher's head. And then finally we have some lucky.
Fun. Oh, boy.
And second of all, baseball will not let me watch, like, people to make cool clips on the interwebs, and that is boring because their media laws or their media standards are incredibly stupid in baseball. They don't let you, they like send you cease and desist shit if you post any of their stuff because they suck.
And they have so many regional broadcasts and the regional broadcasts don't pay as much as the national broadcasts, and I read something on the internet about that.
Quickly before we move on, my number one pet peeve is regional broadcasts.
Ugh.
I am not paying $200 to watch the 20-something Leaf games that TSN blacks out in Winnipeg. You can kiss my ass. I will stream them illegally. I will say that on this goddamn podcast because it's bullshit.
Totally agree.
All right, so because everybody's upset,
piss me off with something. That's where you're pissing me off.
Everyone's a little upset now. Let's bring up the mood. Let's talk about some beers. Okay.
Okay.
Now, Matt,
I'm okay with that.
I want you to go first because I want your take on this.
You want me to go first?
I'm not.
I actually think we should make them go last.
You want to make them go last?
I think we make them go last. How much time do you have to drink of it?
I'm about half done.
Okay, you need to go last because I started to feel sick near the end.
I'll go first then.
Okay, you go first.
All right, so I had the very classic tasting retro from Sookrams. We talked a lot about them in our year-end show. They showed up a lot on our lists, and you know what? This one, Sookrams Cosmos is the first thing I think of when I think of Sookram, but they do a lot of stuff really well, and when they want to get to a classic taste, they do really well here. So the retro from Sookrams is a retro pale ale, is a classic American pale ale that is hopped with Cascade, Citra, and Columbus. All of those things sound like stuff I should know about, but they make for one damn good, delicious beer. It says retro, and they have the cult classic. This is kind of in the same vein. It's just a classic tasting beer. It's not a big knockout of the park, but it's just something I could sit there and sip on all day and have a great time.
You throw that in there. Like I've had it. I've had 4 of them, I think. You throw that on their core pour list, and that thing will sell.
Oh, yeah,
like crazy, crazy.
Do you think it's better than the cult classic, Matt?
Well, they're different styles. That's more similar to Desert Island.
Yeah. Okay.
Desert Island's an IPA
because I enjoy all of them.
India Pale Ale.
Yeah, because you got to take one off if you're going to bring it into a core.
Jordan's upset. Why is Jordan upset?
I was really thinking about that question. I think the cult classic's better, but I actually, my brain was like, oh.
Pilsners are not my favorite style. I like them, but I would take a pale ale or an IPA over a Pilsner.
I agree that Pilsners can be, it's funny how Pilsners for me are very much like, I hate this or I can drink a ton of these. Yeah. Like I love a good steam whistle, but I will also want to yak having some Pilsners too.
Yeah, it's got a nice toasty taste to it. If you can go out and get some, go get it. The retro from Sookrams. You can follow me on Untapped at Pat Gagne. And I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5. Real solid effort by them. Really enjoyed it. Go pick it up.
It's a good score. It's a good score, Pat. Well done.
All right, Jordan, you're up.
Thank you. So this week I'm going to be doing Juicci with
Yuki.
Pat. 2 C's.
2 C's.
Thank you, Pat. I should have told you before the podcast that I was going to do that.
I liked it. I like that.
First of all, the can is one of my favorite things I've seen in a while. It's ridiculous and funny at the same time. It's hard
pretty.
not.
It's so pretty.
It's hard not to pick it up and laugh at. Like I brought it home and Ree was like, "What the hell is that?" And because it just has that, it kind of has like that. I mean, it's a luxurious IPA, and they did a great job with the branding to make it feel that way.
I feel like you look at that can, it doesn't look like there's a beer in it.
No, it looks like it's holding like some kind of drink related jewelry. I don't even know how to describe it. But so on the drink of it, it's hard for me to actually describe it because I do find it to be I don't know how to describe it. I really don't. I tried to think of a way to talk about it in a way that's very distinctive, like notes of this, notes of that. But because it has 4 hops and it's so forward, it just feels like something Kilter's really good at, which is making a really good IPA.
Is it very different from Juicci?
No, it's yes, but that's the thing. That was what was hard. Yes and no. There's the notes of Juicci in there, but you don't get that grapefruit punch in the face. So it's they took Juicci, pulled out, because it's grapefruit in that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time, yeah.
They took Juicci, they walked the grapefruit out, and then they amped up everything else. But
interesting.
It's one of those things where I don't feel like I'm accurately describing what it tastes like. I feel like it's just very good and you kind of have to do it for yourself. I kept trying to find ways to say sometimes we'll be oh, it's very chocolate forward. You guys know I like my flavored beers, so I'll go those routes. But this is just 7% high quality, really fun to drink, Juicci. So frankly, it's Kilter. At this point, what do you expect? I gave it a 4 out of 5. Again, you could just, I know I started off being tough. I feel like I am tough, J Skull 55 on Untapped. I've had some beers I've dragged recently.
You're a compiler as well. You're also a compiler on
Untapped. That was an accident. Do you guys, where I find it is? It's me trying to, it's me trying to hit people's names to tag, and I'm not looking, and I accidentally hit check in, and then I'm like, God damn it. Yeah. So then I have to. So then that's where I do that on a regular basis too. However, it's really good. Give it a try. 4 out of 5 for me. It's Kilter until they really fuck up. I mean, it's going to be those high 3s, low 4s. Yeah, Matt, right, Matt. You got the interesting one this week, to say the least.
All right, I have the Cherry Barn from Half Pints, coming in at 6.4% in the small can. I was pretty interested. I saw it on my Untapped. I have people who like rated it in like the 4.5 range. I have people who rated it in the 2 range.
Oh, really? They were nice.
Full disclosure, looking forward to this because I really like the cherry beers and things like that. There's something in this though, and I know exactly what it is, that it wears on you, and I'm having trouble finishing this. The first couple sips, you're like, this is really, really interesting. This is cool. This is like nothing I've ever tasted before. You're getting like a barrel-aged, fruited Belgian kind of thing. And then you get about halfway through and you're like, okay, that balsamic taste, that balsamic vinegar, the acidity from that. And you know what it is? The taste is good. You get tartness from cherries. You're getting that tart sourness, that the nose of that balsamic vinegar. Every time I'm going to take a sip now, I'm going, whew, this is getting really, really trying to get through. I think it's something that there's going to be a large group of people that are really enjoy this, that like that. I think like your whiskey drinkers, I think are going to be big fans because it's got a lot of like that note, like the aged notes, that very intense notes. Not really my style. I'm just going to throw it out there. Half Pints does a lot of good stuff. Their core pours are some of my favorites. I've had the Ananas, I thought was very good. Even their double standard lager was very good. This, not very good. Just not really my thing. Now this, Jordan's waiting because he knows I'll say it's not very good, and then I'll give it like a 3. You know, if you follow me on Untapped at Gagne Matt, I'm gonna give this. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna give this a 2.
I knew it.
I'm giving it a 2.
That's the equivalent of Matt punching it in the face and throwing it down a flight of stairs.
And I'm going to tell you why I gave it a 2. I gave it a 2 because the first 3 to 4 sips, I was very intrigued and wanted to keep drinking it. And then it kind of started to drop off real quick. So I'll give it that. I bought it for a reason because it intrigued me. I started drinking it and I was intrigued. Now I'm just hoping it finishes.
I have had 3 beers like that. So the balsamic with some, 2 of them have been cherry and one of them has been some sort of other berry. Each time the balsamic is overpowering. I love the flavor as well. Like I love balsamic vinaigrette, and I feel like if someone could truly make like the 355 can, it cannot be any bigger than that, and it just has to be the most subtle. Like I feel like it's the flavors. There's something there that I think is super interesting for a really niche market, but I just don't think it's worth producing en masse because like I could give that beer to 10 people, and I think one person would even like the first sip. It's just not. Yeah. And I don't mean that beer. I mean like that style.
Yep.
I've had 3 of them from different places. They're all undrinkable. Like I felt sick after each one. It's too acidic. It hits too hard.
Good for Half Pints though for putting out a large
take
batch.
A run if you got the money.
They take a run and they do this. They do this often, and I feel like they have a big market for it. And I mean, good for them.
Well, like my mom said, if I don't have anything good to say, I don't say anything at all. So I'm going to leave it at that. So to recap, Pat had the retro from Sookrams at 3.5 on Untapped at Pat Gagne. Jordan had the Juicci. He gave it a 4. You can follow him on Untapped at JSco55. And Matt gave the Cherry Barn from Half Pints a 2 on Untapped. You can follow him at Gagne Matt with 2 T's. Jordan, on to you for a very quick beer news of the week.
Thank you, Patrick. So this is going to be pretty short. I don't think we missed anything, but I really just have 2 things to report. 1, Sookrams came out with a chocolate stout, a coffee chocolate stout, 2 kinds of chocolate malts, Mexican cocoa nibs, vanilla, and bear hug espresso.
And she's gone.
And she's gone. Now, here's the other one. Okay, so January 14th. Half Pints is making a True Donuts, a pastry stout. I don't know if this was just for show, but they put donuts in the vat. I have questions. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. I'm probably going to try it because it's shameless. It's a donut, which I love, and it's beer.
It's a beer that came out in Winnipeg,
and it's a strong beer, which means it's probably like 6.5%. And it tastes like a donut. This is one of those things where if they get this right, this is rarefied. Right? This is rarefied air territory, right? But if they get
this
wrong,
right, I might need 6 of them.
Yeah, this is either a home run or a dribbler back to the pitcher. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But that's it. So hopefully things pick up again. Okay, I almost forgot. Kilter has a batch or something coming soon. It's a small batch. It comes out never. Don't bother trying to get it. But yeah, that's it, Pat. Back to you. That's the Winnipeg Beer News of the Week.
All right, thank you, Jordan. And one little more piece of news before we go to the next segment. You can now find all our episodes on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Bros, Bumps, and Beers. So if you're not a big fan of your podcast apps, you can find it on YouTube. We're going to put some fun content on there in 2021, hopefully, if we can ever get together again. And when we come back, we're going to have our first wet breads and rocket ships of 2021.
This is dangerous, JR. This is real dangerous.
First back of 2021. We're so back. Welcome back.
Weren't we back on the first? On the first block?
We welcomed everybody.
Hey guys,
got it. Yeah, that's on me. That's on me.
Guess who's back?
Back again?
Shady's back.
Tell a friend.
Hey, Matt. Shady's back. I just told a friend.
You told a friend.
Hey guys, can you read the name of the beer I'm about to drink?
Yes. That looks like a Matron Fine Beer.
No, the name of it right here.
I believe it says Muff.
Muff.
It does.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a dark beer from Ontario called Muff. And I will say this, it's not tongue-in-cheek. The can doesn't have anything egregious on it. It's just the name of the beer. So
does it stand for something?
Well, it's a dark beer, maybe like muddy underwater fudge.
Oh, all right. Not what I expected, but all right.
Flippers.
All right. So we talked a little bit of sports, a little bit of beer for a segment. Let's go back to our bread and butter.
Oh, that was back to back. Oh shit!
Nice.
We're so back.
So back.
So let's talk a little wrestling, little wet breads and rocket ships. I think.
Pat, that muff is delicious. Sorry. Fuck. Damn it.
Good muff, eh?
That's the beer. The beer.
I feel like we should start with the negatives and end on a positive note.
So I think we start. I think we start positive.
Yeah, you want to start positive?
Yeah,
let's start positive.
Let's do it. And Pat, if you don't mind, can I lay it straight
absolutely.
up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Last week we mentioned, the only reason I'm doing this is for continuity. I think last week I was the one who mentioned the Brody Lee thing. That was just I just felt I was going to do it. No big deal. This week AEW did, I think, one of the most touching tributes to a wrestler we maybe have ever seen in this industry, or I've ever seen maybe to anybody ever, like in any sport. It was really well done. I think the main key for me, I think that's going to be all our rocket ships this week. It was a really powerful thing. I want to give the WWE a little shout out. Some people were giving them guff online.
Which is so ridiculous.
I do believe the rumors that Vince was like, you know what, like this isn't our place.
No.
And I think if you look around, like New Day had Brody, like it wasn't even the name when he was in WWE. New Day had Brody.
Brody on the
sleeves.
Yeah.
Wrestlers like Dolph, I think, tweeted he's going to sit down and watch AEW tonight or something to that effect. And I think if they're doing that, they must have got the green light from WWE to be like, hey, do your thing. We're not going to stomp on AEW's toes by trying to like compete with NXT in terms of that. But I will say this, I thought what AEW did really well for me. And there's all the obvious stuff. I'm going to try to go a little deeper. I think they did a really good job conveying what Brody the John Huber meant to them and as a company, as an industry, to fans who really didn't see a lot of him. And the reason I say that is like he was not in WWE for that long. It's not like
he wasn't a focal point.
Yeah, but even when I say that long, when I think of other people who died, we're talking like Eddie, right? We're talking before Disavow, the night of Benoit, when they didn't know what happened. Benoit, like that was like eons, right? Brody was pretty short-lived, and he was pretty short-lived in AEW. We're talking like under a year. And I think it was one of those things where they really clearly conveyed how great that guy was.
Yeah, he's just a really
I didn't know
good
the
person.
guy, and I feel like
it was a tough night. Like at the end, I'll just say by the end with the boots and the sun, I tell you, it was a little dusty. It was a little allergy season.
For me, it was just like how it was all tied up. Like to start the night, it was JR saying it's Wednesday. You know what that means, which is Brody Lee's kind of signature thing on Twitter. And ending it, like the whole night was, okay, storylines don't matter. His son is what we're trying to focus in on and help him remember his dad for what he was. Hey, kid, you pick every match on the card. And what do you want to see? And then they involved him with the MJF spot.
Awesome. And that's peak MJF. Yeah,
the fact that they could incorporate MJF heel move and turn it into a feel-good moment speaks to not only AEW, but MJF as a worker. He's like, hey, I'm going to do this.
Human.
Yeah, they just knocked everything out of the park. It was so classy. It was so well done.
I want to talk about two quick things with Matt before I throw it to you that also weren't, this is along with what I said earlier. Two videos that I really loved this week was one, Eddie Kingston did like a backstage, I don't know what, motivational speech. Why am I blanking on what this is called? It's like a really obvious term.
I can't think of the word either.
Pep talk, something like that.
Yeah. Like there was no walls left in my house after I watched that.
It was a win one for the Gipper type shit. And it was one of the best speeches I heard in a long time. And I think that's like Eddie Kingston to a T. And I can see why that guy, you wouldn't want him in WWE. Because that guy has the type of voice where, no, I'm saying even backstage. Like Eddie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I agree with
Eddie is like, hi, guys, we're making a union. Like, that's who I think Eddie is.
Yeah.
The other video I saw I really loved was Adam Cole was like jokingly wrestling. Or like he was like working
Adam
with the
Cole
kid
at an AEW event.
In an AEW event.
Again.
And he was backstage doing...
And he challenged a match. He challenged -1, who was Brody Lee.
-1, and they had like a little match there, and Ricky Starks was going along with it. It was just like there were some really cool moments in the wrestling community this week. Before we get back to what is Raw Legends Night, Toxic Wasteland, it was nice to nice to see that. So that was it for me. Like the two videos. I mean, I know we talked about the night, but that video with Adam Cole really I watched that a few times. That was pretty cool.
I think my biggest thing throughout the whole show and just with this whole John Huber Brody Lee thing is that guy is, I think, a testament to what everybody wants in the wrestling industry. And I think based on what I saw, he was the type of guy that it didn't matter if he was a top guy in an indie promotion, if he was in the WWE, going to an indie show to check it out, if he was in AEW, and he had these guys who were wrestling on Dark for the first time ever. He took the time to talk to them. He was what you needed for indie wrestlers. He was someone they could look up to. He just seemed like a 100% genuine guy who that was his job. He was a dad first and a family man first, and he went to work and lived his dream every day. And I feel like I feel at the end of the show, to me as a dad.
Well, I think that's all you could ask for.
And I feel like at the end of the show, it's like, there's so much bullshit in wrestling, and sometimes people say things about other people and they're like, oh, he's such a great person. And you can kind of tell that's horseshit. But what every person talked about Brody Lee, John
didn't
Huber,
seem like horseshit, man.
He was the most stand-up person ever. And he was everybody wanted to talk to, everybody wanted to be around, just lit up a room. And the fact that he's gone now, that's a big hole it seems in the wrestling community. And I think they did a really good job giving a tribute to someone who deserves that praise.
I also think it was cool to go back and see I never watched his up down down segments and those were hilarious, like him playing Madden with Seth. I think it was there was a bunch of them where he's half gimmick, half not, losing his mind, losing the games, and it was just cool. You hate to see anybody pass. But yeah, it was a great night that helped pull. I think it was cathartic for fans, and it was cathartic for the wrestlers too. This isn't a criticism, but it's driving me nuts. Was there 11 bells?
I didn't count them.
I just, because you know what my brain is, I had to go back and check. I'm pretty sure there was 11 bells. And my brain was like, you had one fucking job.
Well, you know what made my brain explode? Not to be on the negative side. The fact that Disco Inferno is on Twitter saying that Brody Lee's family owes it to everybody to explain what really happened to him. The fact that Disco Inferno is even a thing still in 2021.
That's ridiculous.
That guy should praise God that he is even involved in wrestling right now, because he fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And the fact that he even chimed in here for no fucking reason. Disco Inferno, you are banned for life from Bros, Bumps, and Beers.
You know what, Pat? That's fantastic. Matt, do you agree?
I agree, 100%.
Yeah. What a skill.
Disco Inferno?
Don't even send me a DM. I don't even want you on the show.
Yeah. What a fucker.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a really touching night, but let's get back to our little gimmick here.
Let's do what we do best. Let's trash some wrestling.
Let's trash some wrestling. So, Matt, I'm going to lead it with you.
I'm going to lead off, but before I lead off, I just want to say, like, as much as like we have fun here, like trashing the wet breads and stuff, and like picking apart the silly stuff that wrestling does, I think it's important to note, like, something like this Brody Lee tribute that happened. This is one of the reasons we love wrestling.
Oh yeah,
is because as much as we like make fun of wrestling and have fun, and we're like, oh, this was awesome, but this sucked. I feel like when it comes to pass where like this guy passes away and stuff, we're texting each other going, man, this is powerful shit.
Yeah.
And it's wrestling, and I think that's why I love wrestling, and it's also why I love to trash wrestling, because it just we talked earlier about visceral reactions from sports.
Right.
This gives me visceral. I watched the Edge documentary again, cried again. God darn it.
I think anybody who looks at something and says you shouldn't equally praise and destroy it at the same time, if you look at the greatest things we do as like societies, like arts, music, people love music and hate music, politics, religion, it doesn't matter what you talk about, sports, anything that's major, we as a society can live off loving something and deriving something, because I think it's all entertainment. So yeah, if anyone's like, listen, I'm going to make fun of Shotzi Blackheart till I'm blue in the face, it doesn't mean that I don't respect Shotzi Blackheart for chasing her dream and doing what she wants. Do I want to watch her on the TV? No. But at the same time, if I ever have the chance to meet Shotzi Blackheart, I'll be a stand-up guy and tell her I said that, and tell her I'm really happy that she's getting to do whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
Speaking of which, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, because that was on my list.
Oh, was it? Because that's mine. Mine is.
Why don't you go then?
Okay, so mine will be quick. It started off being that it started off being the Newcomer of the Year award.
Oh.
And
the wording. Oh my!
I couldn't believe it. I think Shotzi won it.
That's brutal.
I almost jumped off a cliff because I was like carrying cross.
What did she break out of? Her tank?
Yeah, no, I wish she stayed in the tank when it got destroyed. No, okay, that's really bad. But, I don't mean literally. Here's the thing. It started off being that all the awards except for Adam Cole was wrong. Wrong or dumb.
Yep.
Every single one was bad. Like bad.
So is your wet bread the award?
My wet bread is all the awards, because it started off being Shotzi, and then it was like, oh, that's dumb. That's dumb.
That's not right. That's
dumb. Ilya and Walter didn't win match of the year. That's dumb.
They didn't win match of the year?
No.
Did you watch it yet, Pat? Did you watch it again? I watched it for a third time.
So good.
Oh.
Valor O'Reilly won. Here's the thing.
No,
I get
it didn't.
it. No, wait. What won?
War Games won.
War Games won. That's an okay winner.
No, it should have been Valor O'Reilly.
Yeah.
No, they did win it. Because
I looked it up today. I'm pretty sure it was War Games.
Finn and O'Reilly both got bells. I watched the show.
Oh, maybe they did.
War
Games won match of the year.
I'll admit I'd had a few, but the point is like the whole awards were bad. I get why we do it. You're trying to put people over. You're not literally giving fucking awards.
No,
but I get it. So it doesn't mean I'm not going to sit here and be like, okay, don't piss on me and tell me it's rating. Okay. Like Karrion Kross not being like, there's some that are like, yeah. And then like Shotzi over Karrion Kross is like laugh out loud.
Future Stars Award. They gave it to what's his nuts with Johnny Gargano.
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
Yeah.
The guy couldn't stick on TV
Pat,
all
that's
year.
The point. It could be fucking Atlas. They're all interchangeable. Who knows? So it's like, yeah. Anyways, it was horrible. Matt, go ahead. But that was such an obvious like stupid thing this week. And every time an award came up, I cringed because I'm like, well, I might as well add this to the list because this is dumb. And every single one was, except for Male Performer of the Year. I thought Cole deserved it, but yeah.
All right. I have two that I'm not sure if they're wet breads or not sure if they're rocket ships. So if somebody doesn't put them in wet bread,
something that could be both?
Yeah. I want to
Okay.
discuss it. I want to discuss it at the end if somebody doesn't pull it.
All right.
I just want to shout out because we just did the Brody Lee. Just want to shout out Kevin Owens' work as a rocket ship. His work with Roman Reigns, he's putting Roman Reigns over to the moon.
Yeah.
Like, it's phenomenal. But going to wet breads, I saw it coming when it happened, and I was like, nah, WWE's not going to do that. And they did it. The Miz got his Money in the Bank briefcase back.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I do.
That's the worst.
No one fucks up their own shit better than WWE.
Didn't I just give them a rocket ship for making him lose it? Didn't I just do that?
Yeah.
And now, hey there, son. Here, have your briefcase back. Is Adam Pearce the GM? Is he the GM of Raw?
What is creative doing? Why would they pull it off him and give it back?
I think what we're setting up here is they're trying a long-term story, Miz against Morrison at WrestleMania. I think that's where we're going.
You could do that without a briefcase.
That match screams pre-show.
Oh, 100%. That's a pre-show match.
It's a filler or a pre-show, but
it's WrestleMania, so it's like a 6-hour show.
But
God.
I just feel like the Miz and Morrison I think they've been way more entertaining in the past, but I think they see them as people who can eat up a segment on television, especially on a 3-hour Raw. So we need to give them something to do. But why? Like, let's find something different for them to do, because the briefcase, WWE, when you brought the briefcase and gave it to Edge the first time, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
When Seth Rollins cashed in, that was awesome. When Dolph Ziggler cashed in, that was awesome. Like, all these there's been such good cash-ins, and now you're just using it as a prop, and it's driving me crazy.
That was a good cash-in. Miz was a good cash-in.
Yeah, no, that was.
Don't give it back to him.
Money in the Bank is an idea that if they had done it right 5-10 years from now, we could be talking about it every year like the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good that was.
It could have been their semi-annual Royal
Money in the Bank could have been the third pay-per-view. That, you know how they do the 3?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That could have been slot 3. It could have been like Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble. And I think, like, the second I saw Money in the Bank, my brain went like, oh my God, they've done it. Like, they've hit the jackpot where after WrestleMania season, everything builds up to the next star and you loading up that person for a run at something. For SummerSlam, you can use that Money in the Bank all year. And they have done nothing but piss it down the drain. Nothing against Otis. He should never win it. Everyone who they did it okay at the start, and they've really fucked it up recently. Like, they really have.
They're trying to build stars, but at the same time,
but they're not, because Otis will never be that.
No,
and I think that was
glimpses of it, and then they were like, no.
So
that's
my wet bread. Like, just why give it back to them? Like, it's just dumb.
I feel like they made the Otis decision, and they've been fumbling ever since. It's almost like, at some point, I think you just have to cut your losses. Like,
they put it on Corbin a few years back, and then they realized it wasn't working, so they made him lose it. And all of a sudden, the guy literally has hate me heat every time he walks.
And that's the thing. It's like, if Otis isn't the guy, just get rid of the Money in the Bank so you don't sully it. Like, you don't make it something that we roll our eyes at, right? Because now they have to build it again if they ever want to really use it.
I see ways they can do that, but
of course, I don't think it's hard, but it's like, why did you even have to, can you imagine if we ever got to the point with the Royal Rumble where we talked about having to build it back up?
Ugh.
Yeah, so fuck, why even go down that road?
That's the day I stopped watching wrestling. Royal Rumble is my favorite thing in wrestling.
Yeah,
and if they ever fuck that up,
I like it better than WrestleMania.
Yeah. I do too.
I do.
I'm
I look forward to
Royal Rumble is the best thing in wrestling. Period.
Yeah. Period.
I'll tell you what's not the best thing in wrestling. My wet bread of the week to finish things out. The Street Profits were in a ring on Monday, and they had a drum set. And let me tell you, this was worse than terrible. Dawkins had drums. I don't know why, because I guess he was doing a rim shot. I don't know. The Profits at this point, when they showed up, they were fun. They were unscripted. They were kind of just doing their own thing. Now they are so scripted. You have Montez Ford, who, in my opinion, in 5 years should be Montez Ford, the Street Profit. He should be a solo star, and he could be a champion. That's my personal opinion.
Should be.
Probably
Won't be.
I still hold out hope.
They need to let that guy cook because anything he says is hilarious, is on point. He has his finger on the pulse of anything going on in pop culture. And I feel like they're just like, oh, he's kind of cool. Let's tell this guy what to say now so that he continues to be cool.
If I was Dawkins, I'd be pushing for that even harder because the second Dawkins is who's the guy who Shawn Michaels dropped?
Marty Jannetty.
Okay, Dawkins is Marty Jannetty. So you just latch on.
100%.
You latch on to Montez Ford and you hold on to his fucking bootstraps.
Yeah.
And every time his heels start to spark out, you just light a match and just like hold it to the fire.
Yeah.
And just keep his fucking thing going.
I don't even know what they're doing anymore. They had a chance to make another New Day in a different style.
Yeah.
And they just blew it. They blew it. It's unless they can right the ship. Montez
I don't
Ford
think it's too late because I think Montez Ford is that talented.
Yeah, he's that good. And I still do have faith that he can pull it out, but I love Montez Ford. I think honestly, he's one of my top 5 favorite things in WWE. I just think he's so athletic. He's so charismatic. And he's so multi-dimensional.
That guy fucking hangs in the air, man. When he jumps, I wonder if he's coming down. Like he has the ability to go up
good. And this is rock bottom, in my opinion. They did the cinematic match. I was like, okay, that's kind of silly. It's okay. This is rock bottom. This was terrible. And it was not
fun. It wasn't even funny.
It's all the WWE is just like, I think we need to start a wrestling club that models itself after Fight Club. And you know, at the end of Fight Club where he takes down the credit card companies?
Yeah.
I feel like we need to do that with the WWE. It's almost like too big now. And it's this like machine that can't get out of its own way. And I feel like we just need to like burn it all to the ground and just start again.
WWE has gone too much to we're a TV show. It was sports entertainment. It was its own entity.
It forgot it's wrestling.
Yeah. Because when you do see the wrestling on the pay-per-views, damn, is that entertaining.
Yeah. Or AEW or NXT does it every week. NXT keeps it short, keeps the promos, like, unless you're really good at it, to a minimum. And all they do is just like
wrestling Twitter will go and say, well, the Attitude Era had a lot of this stuff, but it hit more because it wasn't rehearsed. It felt guerrilla.
I think the issue right now is because we get to pay-per-views, and pay-per-views have been pretty solid lately. Yeah. WWE's issue, aside from the Roman Reigns stuff and their top-level stuff with Drew McIntyre, the lead-up to every pay-per-view is so scattered and so all over the place.
I think the best thing that could ever happen to the WWE is they get forced to downsize. I know that's like sounds shitty, but if they ever had to like burn contracts and really like hone in, because I feel like they're still so big that they have the ability to, they feel like they can just freewheel it and do whatever they want. I think they have to feel like we have to make them desperate. That's what I would want to see.
They never will be again though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We got to burn it down. We got Fight Club style. We need our Brad Pitt.
Okay, so the two little things that I want your guys' takes on. Number one, Alexa Bliss dousing herself in gasoline and asking to be burned.
Love it.
I liked it, but I can see why people wouldn't.
I was okay with it until she tried to do the crying face thing. That made me that was like a little too gimmicky for me.
I was in. I was all in on that. I thought it was great.
Because she's not 10. So like her crying in the middle of the ring, like that is
kind of playing that type of character. It was just
but it's weird.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes, kind of thing. And then my last one,
is it Ryan Cabrera's head? Because that still comes back around for me.
Oh,
he has such a big head. And then he was wearing pajamas with her the other day, and it was like it was like someone inflated a ball at the top of a stuffed animal.
The other thing that happened from SmackDown, I'm not sure. Sonya Deville is like, they're making a big deal about it. She's
the next women's champion.
I think there's something there. I think there's something.
I do too.
She's a fucking star.
That's crazy to me. I never would have thought that.
Doesn't matter. Don't let her talk. Let her kick ass and just take names and
I totally
Ronda Rousey light. Diet Ronda Rousey.
Or I think if you are gonna let her talk, you can't let her be like fluffy. She's got to be not even Becky. She's got to be like Ruthless Murderer.
By the way, man,
Sonya.
do I miss Becky. I watched a lot of they did a lot of marathons on their network this week. Becky was sweet.
I didn't really ever love Becky on the mic.
Oh, and see, I did.
She wasn't my cup of tea.
When she was good, she was really good.
Yeah, the man.
When she was
the
meh,
man.
she wasn't very good.
Peak man.
I thought Becky tried to go a little more like Conor McGregor after, like down the road with it. And I guess for me, if you're not, but I like saw that so many times before. You know, I don't think anyone can beat him. So when she was like, yeah, I think it got a little contrived, but. No, I see what you're saying. It'd be nice, but I think Sonya's got to be like ruthless. Sonya's got to be like backstabbing everybody. And
I think there's potential there.
She's got to be. You know what I think of like when I think of her, like hitman, assassin, like that's her character, right? It's like she's got the suits. I think it fits with what she sees herself as like a human being, like a character, like not a fucking hitman, but like that tough.
I know what you mean.
Tough as nails.
Yeah, she wants to wear like suits. I mean, that's just a guess, but it seems like that's her kind of style. And I think if her whole thing is like she goes around and can you imagine I don't think we'll ever get a superstar, but it'd be cool if like her whole thing was like taking contracts.
Yeah,
like she took
I'm
a
waiting
contract.
for that.
Would be
She took a contract and someone comes to her and it's like gives her a thing.
Get rid of this person.
And that's it. Like that person is gonna get beat in the ring.
Doesn't worry about titles or anything. It's just like
no,
okay, yeah,
I would honestly say like if I ever got the chance to wrestle, that would be my character.
I think that works more on that works more in AEW world than WWE world.
That's where I thought they were.
But I think there's a way to to gimmick that up. By the way, Cesaro. Tell me Cesaro's not just Jason Statham, and you do Jason Statham transporter type shit with Cesaro.
I want to see him and Ricochet.
I'm gonna have to start wrestling now so I can do the assassin gimmick. Just because I
shave your head.
I am. You know what? I lived most of my life with a shaved head. I'll go back to it.
All right. So hey guys, good job. Congratulations on a good segment, guys. Congratulations. Congratulations on finishing your beers. Hey Jordan, congratulations on the Packers getting into the playoffs.
Oh, I see what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Congratulations, guys.
Hey Pat, congrats on the Bills making the playoffs.
Hey, Jordan, congratulations.
Hey, congratulations, Pat.
When we come back, we'll talk about the Royal Rumble 1992. Congratulations, guys. We're going to talk about Royal Rumble.
Congratulations on watching the Royal Rumble, guys.
Oh, Michael, this is going to be fun to watch.
All right, so here's the deal. Basically, I talked to Pat and Matt and came to realize we went way too long on the Royal Rumble 92, the physical match itself, but it deserved it. So what I decided to do after talking to the two guys is we cut everything on the undercard. So everything coming up now is only going to be about the actual Royal Rumble itself, arguably the greatest one of all time from 1992.
All right, Jordan, wake the fuck up.
I'm back. I'm done reading hockey articles. Let's go.
We, ladies and gentlemen, are here for the Royal Rumble 1992 match. It is the first time that the title is vacant and will be awarded to the victor.
Why was it vacant? Oh, I'm the one who has Wikipedia.
Ric Flair, I believe Ric Flair claimed to be the real champion, and then Hogan lost it. I actually don't know.
I'm trying to look it up as fast as I can.
Yeah. But yeah, this was the first time it was awarded to the winner.
This is the first time the Royal Rumble ever had stake.
By the way, just a quick side note: I hate the fact the Survivor Series is a Big Four. I think it's terrible.
Oh, back in the day, it's because Vince loves Thanksgiving and he always hyped it up with those traditional.
Put Money in the Bank there, fine.
I don't disagree with Jordan.
But so the winner gets the vacant title. That's the first time that there was stakes sort of Royal Rumble match. Matt is correct.
Yep.
The next time the title was decided at a Royal Rumble, I believe it was when Roman Reigns defended it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only time I can remember it.
Yeah, because they added the following year in 93. Real quick, Pat, who won in 93?
Oh, fuck.
That's the Forgotten Rumble.
Who won in 93?
He was a big boy.
I don't know. Who was it, Matt?
Yoko.
Oh, Yoko. Yeah, when Macho tries to pin him and he throws him over the ropes.
Why he tried to pin him.
That's
Macho,
awesome.
By the way, we're going to talk about it. Macho Man sucked at Royal Rumbles.
He's the worst. He didn't understand the rules.
Macho Man seems like a big time figureitout.com guy. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
Now, if I'm looking at my list, so I wrote down every entrant. Okay.
You get your workhorse right off the hop, right? By the way,
British Bulldog is the forgotten workhorse of this match.
He did a fantastic job carrying it early.
He was a great number one. I feel like you set the tone in your Royal Rumble with a great number one.
You do.
If you have a bad Rumble, usually your first two entrants suck.
See Royal Rumble 94.
Exactly. So the number two entrant was Ted DiBiase, which was every time I watch it, I'm shocked that he comes out number two. Absolutely shocked.
I always forget, and I've seen this Rumble like 10 times.
But he was there for a reason, right? He was there to put over like Bulldog early, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but still, like him getting eliminated first, like before even anybody comes in the ring.
I could see why like him at the time is like Ted. I think Ted was, from what I read, was a really good like company guy, and I think they were probably just like, hey, we need someone to put Bulldog like. Yeah. We need to fire this up early. Yeah, and Ted probably went, so you're paying me the same to do a minute and 18 of work at the start of the night? Thank you very much.
And that's the thing though, like, but if you go back to like what makes a good Rumble, the first two entrants have to be pretty good, which you got. And then I think you at least have to have close to or just above or below 15 people in the match that you could see winning the match.
There's more than that in this one.
I counted 14, but we might have a difference of opinion.
No, you're probably around right. But I think, like, with hindsight, you could say, like, there was, like, 20 guys in this match.
I thought I was going to say who. Like, when someone came out going, like, who? A lot more than I did with this. Like, I recognized, I would say, 25 of the 30 guys.
Yeah, yep. So, like, if you go through, you got Bulldog comes in first, Ted DiBiase second, gets eliminated by Bulldog, and then Flair comes in. I would say the first three people in the ring could have won the match.
Absolutely.
Like, Bulldog they were pushing him like that.
Flair coming out 3. First of all, Bobby Heenan loses god dang mind.
We got like the panicky.
It's not fair to Flair. It's not fair to Flair.
The panicky attitude of Heenan throughout the whole match builds Flair even more in this match. Like it's like if every time I watch it and I listen to Heenan, I don't think Flair's gonna win.
But Flair coming out 3 was great storytelling though. It was something that the amount of times Gorilla Monsoon said nobody in the top 3 has ever won, or nobody in the top 5 has ever won, was great because it was just like because he kept putting doubt in your mind that he could do it. Also, real quick, I read online today, Bobby Heenan tried to pitch to McMahon that Flair should have been number 1 and gone wire to wire.
That would have been, you know what? It's good. It's good that they didn't. I think
it's smart because you have to leave that down the road. I think with Rumbles, you just want to incrementally increase what's interesting, what people can do.
But I mean, if a guy's gonna do it, I think it should have been Flair.
Yeah, because they said at the start, like you were right, Matt. It wasn't top 5. He said top 4 have anybody who's come in the first 4 of the Rumble has never won.
4.
Can I
make it the third guy?
Can I ask some questions? Okay, so do you guys want to go through dudes one by one?
Sure.
We'll get there. Can I just add one more thing?
Yeah.
I think just the whole start of the match when Heenan is panicky, Gorilla's the straight man. Nobody's ever come in first 4 and have won it. Heenan continue to be panicky. Where's Flair? Where is he? Is he okay? Where is he? And then Bulldog being showcased, and then Ric Flair going, Rick, go down, stay down, don't move.
Yeah, no, it was. I gotta go check. I gotta go check in the back.
Okay, so so the reason why I was thinking of doing this is I feel like there's a few spots where I can just like ask questions about people and like set you guys up. So that being said, Jerry Sags and Haku, can we just move past them and go straight to Shawn Michaels?
Real quick, Knobs, who is Jerry Sags' partner, was supposed to be, got stabbed a couple weeks before this, and wasn't able to participate.
Right.
Haku actually replaced Sags.
So I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought Shawn Michaels was kind of like underwhelmingly used in this. I felt like he was in early and he was there for 15 minutes, and then that was really it.
Just broke up with Jannetty.
Oh, okay. So it was like early Shawn?
Yeah, you get him in there. He skins the cat every once in a while over the ropes, comes back in, almost eliminated, kind of showcases.
And him and Tito went nose to nose right to the end of it, right? When they got boosted out.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you mean El Matador?
I don't know who that is.
He was not Tito Santana at the time. He was El Matador.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I just saw Tito Santana. I thought I heard someone call him Tito Santana.
No, he was El Matador Tito Santana.
Yeah.
And, okay.
Fun things Heenan said about him. Michael's making guacamole out of Matador. Wow. And then at one point he called him the flying jalapeno.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so this was my first who. Okay, no, sorry, I lied. Jerry Sags was my first who. The Barbarian?
He had a long career.
He was a big dude. He was an Ica Pro
guy.
Late 80s, early 90s. He was kind of just a staple in WWE.
Okay. And then the next thing I was surprised about is like the match is going on. I thought like there are some decent spots, and I agree with everything you guys were saying, but I felt like nothing between here. I think shit picked up again when the next guy came in. Like that's when I felt like things kind of exploded. But I'm glad. I still don't understand why they called Von Erich the Texas Tornado. Because I think you recognize the name Von Erich. And like, if I hadn't watched the documentary about them, I would have no clue that guy was a Von Erich.
The reason he's not a Von Erich is because Vince had a thing of, I didn't build that name, so I'm going to build him with a different name.
Oh,
he doesn't own the name. He wants to own the name.
Ego.
By the time he left, he was known as the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich.
Okay.
He started as just the Texas Tornado. By the way, his pop.
Huge.
Every time I see him,
what the hell?
That's why I looked up. I was like working while I was watching it, and I heard, and I like the thing popped, and I looked, and I'm like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And then they said the name, and I'm like, "Okay, thank God I've looked him up."
You watch the episode of Dark Side about the Von Erichs, and then you see Kerry Von Erich in WWE, and you're like, "Holy shit! What a waste! What a waste!"
How did that not? Yeah,
like it's kind of on him. It's kind of on Vince too, but it's just like he's got every piece of the look that you need.
Okay, so here's the next part that made me go, what the fuck? One, the Repo Man in general.
My always question about the Repo Man is Repo Man kind of takes stuff, but they're allowed to take it. Repo Man in WWF stole stuff. Like, I didn't get
He's a thief.
He also had 2 eliminations, which boggled my mind because that's...
He had 2 eliminations?
Yeah, he had 2 eliminations.
Yeah.
I actually looked that up out of curiosity. And then, of course, I looked it up specifically, and then I came to Wikipedia later, and it's right in the fucking thing. So it's like, okay, that would have been easy.
Yeah, it's all there.
Yeah, 2 eliminations, and like, there's a lot of people on this list who didn't have 1.
You get Greg Valentine next. Was he over?
He was over in the 80s. In the 80s, he was really over.
They loved him.
I was laughing out loud when he ran to the ring at the pop he got. You know what I miss? You know what's something, this is like old wrestling that you don't hear anymore? It's like a guy came in and it was yay or boo.
Yeah.
Boo or yay. There wasn't like a yeah.
And if you were really over, like you could just get a cheer for the rest of your career.
Does Vince long for those days?
Yeah.
Yes.
I bet you Vince, if you could give Vince the chance, I think if you told Vince you can go back 30 years,
if you can do it in a heartbeat. If you can erase the internet, Vince would do it.
Oh, completely. I would too, frankly.
That's the issue, right?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, George.
I would probably do it too.
I think Heenan looked at what number Greg Valentine was, and he saw who was coming next, because I'm assuming they know who's coming.
Yeah.
And he started reminding people, Flair's still there. Flair's still there. Don't forget Flair. He's still in the match. He's still number 3. He's still, how long has he been in there? Tell me how long he's been in there. Just those constant reminders builds the whole Flair performance.
Yeah.
Because then the next, Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah. Oh, who cares?
Who cares? And then the Big Boss Man, another huge pop in the early 90s.
The Big Boss Man flew around that ring like someone stole his lunch money. And his elimination was my favorite. It looked like I had to watch it 4 times. The guy like hit the ropes. I loved how he ran the ropes. Like he hit the ropes horizontally.
Yeah.
Okay, FYI, he is small in this. Go back, Jordan, and watch him in like 88.
Big.
When he's Hakeem.
When he's with Hakeem, the African Dream.
Yeah.
He's huge. Monstrous.
Enormous.
It's crazy watching the Boss Man. Like the bump he took to go out of the ring looked like an NXT bump from today. Like I think he hit every body part on the way down.
Well, and like leading up to that, I want to go back one day when I have nothing to do and count how many Flair chops there are, because I feel like at a certain point all he was doing was chopping.
Flair was hucking chops like crazy, but
he's getting his ass kicked too. Oh man, does he take a shit kicking?
A lot of eliminations. Like there was a rapid fire elimination. Like it was like, I think it went like Sags, Haku, and it was just like bang, 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 like guys flying all over the place. And then it thinned out once Boss Man went.
Yeah, because Boss Man got eliminated, and as soon as he gets eliminated, Heenan yells, Flair wins! Flair
that
wins!
Was awesome.
Because there's no one left in the ring.
And then just to go off it, then I'm like, all right, this is huge. Who's next?
Hercules.
And I was like,
but he was out pretty quick. They got rid of him.
Yeah,
he was the fastest. He was the shortest in the ring.
it's like the next guy should have been the guy who came out next, in my opinion.
Yeah, Piper.
But Hercules came out, and I was like, well, what's Flair's gonna fucking wrestle Hercules for the next 2 minutes? Like, what the fuck were you doing here?
Well, then you get Piper, and then like
So hyped.
business picks up again, right?
Yeah, Piper's just a little ball of energy, eh?
And Piper has a hell of a performance too. He stays in for almost a half hour.
Yeah. Well, he comes in halfway, right?
Longer than a half hour.
Yeah.
And then after that, you get the best piece of psychology in the whole Royal Rumble. Jake the Snake Roberts comes in. He comes in,
so subtle,
and sees that the two are fighting, and sits down in the corner.
I hated that he got up. I hated when he
I wanted him to sit there for a while. I wanted him
sit there first.
Yeah.
Sit there till someone comes in, like, or until one guy gets eliminated or one of the guys in the ring threatens to hit you.
Yeah, exactly.
Roberts had the two best pieces of psychology in this match.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Later, the Savage spot, which you can talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when Savage comes out.
Because Savage just so much, I feel we're gonna have to cut it, and I think we'll get to like Savage, and then we'll probably have to stop. Hacksaw.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, good. We'll move on from that.
I don't get it. I don't get why he is so popular.
That IRS still makes me laugh. I can't explain why. It's just the idea of him. I think it's funny.
He was so reliable though. Like, it's crazy.
And then Jimmy Snook. Okay, so first of all, big time disavow. Like, Jimmy was coming to the ring, and I was like, not great, Bob. You know, like, not great that we have Jimmy coming to the ring at that exact point. And I also thought, like, the way he was coming to the ring, was he on the tail end of his career at that point? Because he just didn't look like he had it. And then, now, once again, Undertaker comes out, and he's just walking around choking people like he's Darth fucking Vader.
This is like slow moving. I am the dead man Taker.
Love it.
And I loved it. I actually like that better than, he had to evolve over time. Okay, so I think we have time. So do Randy, and then I'll cut it and we'll split it.
You give me an explanation for the Macho Man spot.
All right, so
this was a fucking
Macho Man comes out, and they go to camera work's amazing on this. They go to a huge like roof shot of the ring.
He's like running like he's Usain fucking Bolt.
Yeah, he's running like he's Ultimate Warrior down in the ring. Jake leaves the ring and hides just underneath the ring.
At one point, I was like, "Where did he get eliminated?" And I didn't understand where he went.
Great. And Randy's looking around like he's looking. I don't even know. Like he's looking to steal whatever's not bolted to the ground. And then he gets clocked. I don't remember who clocks him. It might have been the Undertaker, actually. And then Jake sneaks back in, and they start going at it. But then he eliminates Jake. And in a 100% Randy Savage moment, he just jumps over the top rope, eliminating himself onto...
And the announcer said it.
Yeah, they're like, did he just eliminate himself? But the Undertaker, he had just been eliminated, correct?
Yeah.
The Undertaker was eliminated.
So this is kind of a little bit of hindsight helps here. But is this like where the Undertaker's like, you're an idiot. You just eliminated yourself, because I understand the rules. I understand what's going on. He chokes him. He throws him back in the ring and basically like prevents him from going after Jake the Snake again, so that the commentators can kind of recover. And they do. They recover kind of nice. Oh, no, you have to be thrown over the top.
Yeah.
Which is fair. That does make some sense.
I might be wrong. I'll have to look back on the Royal Rumble archives. I don't think this is the only time Macho Man has thrown himself over the top.
It's so random. I think I have this random like piece of memory in my head that Macho Man has fucked up multiple times in Royal Rumble.
I think he tried to pin Yokozuna.
I think he went after. Right. I think he went after Crush. I think that's why he jumped over the top rope. I think that might have been it.
But he eliminated himself that year.
So he would have eliminated. No, wasn't it? You're saying Crush was when he fucked up. Okay, so I was like, Crush isn't in this match.
What's lost in all this, again, if you come back to Heenan, because at one point Flair goes at Taker, and he's been in the match for I don't know how long at this point, but he goes after the Undertaker of all people, and Heenan can't see Flair, so he goes, "Cameraman, go to Flair, keep a wide shot. I need to see Flair. I need to see Flair." He's always this panicky, like, "Where's Flair? I need to see him. Is he in the ring? Is he out? Is he okay?" And at one point, Heenan tells Flair, "Just throw in the towel. Like, just, you've done enough. Just throw in the towel." Like, I just don't understand. It was so good. I just loved every second.
What blows me away is just how active Ric Flair is. He's continuously going after guys, And that is because he could have easily won this. And like, you know how guys disappear in the Rumble every now and then? Like you watch guys and he's like, he's the Iron Man, but you don't really see him do much for like,
No, it doesn't do much.
Like a 5-minute stretch where they're catching their breath. Flair is getting his ass kicked or kicking somebody's ass pretty much the whole match.
All right, and then next up in our continuing trend of ups and downs, we have the Berserker.
But Jordan, he was then followed by Virgil.
Those fucking peppermint pants on that guy. My word, oh God Almighty!
That's what his gimmick was. He was a candy.
How Virgil didn't
scraper.
win the Royal.
That's what he was.
I don't know.
Was he the Candyman?
That has some vibes to it I don't like.
And then that followed Jordan by, I think his name was Mustafa?
Colonel
Mustafa. Was he just the Iron Sheik?
Yeah, it was the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
With pants.
You talk about going from a high to a deep low.
No one comes in of consequence until 26.
Yeah, like, no, I would know. That's not true.
You're going to give Rick Martel some due?
I put a star next to Rick Martel's name saying that he could have won the Rumble.
Really? Was he that over?
Up until this Rumble, Rick Martel owned the longest time in the Royal Rumble.
Really?
Yeah.
And then who had it after this Rumble?
Flair.
Flair.
For how long?
20 years.
54 minutes?
No, he had an hour.
It was an hour or two, and he had it for like 25 years.
An hour, 2 seconds. And no, he did not. He lost it the next year to Bob Backlund.
Really? I thought it was no one until.
Yep, and that stood for 11 years till Disavow got it in 20.
Oh, Chris Benoit. That's when it was.
I like how we had to filter through which Disavow it was.
I know we've disavowed so many people.
I love wrestling.
Okay, so let's.
That's wild. That's wild to me because if Chris Benoit beat the record, but Shawn Michaels won it when he was number one. But they shortened the time, right?
That was the 1 minute Rumble.
Right. Okay. That was wild. I hope we should do that one.
Okay, so 26, Hulkster comes in, business picks up.
Looking real small, by the way.
Yeah. Not a lot of Ica Pro there. There's something happened. Let's not go into it too much detail, but there was no Ica Pro allowed after that. And then they followed up with another big name, Skinner.
The Alligator Man.
This was the first part where I was like, wait, this is 27? And then there's one more, and I think you can guess. There's two names we're going to say, and then when 30 came out, I was incredibly perplexed.
You're going to be perplexed, but like you'll be more perplexed when we get to 30. I put a star next to his name saying he could have won it back then.
That's unbelievable.
I think he could have.
After Skinner, we had Sarge come out.
Yeah. Sarge. Is Sergeant Slaughter one of the most overrated wrestlers in WWE history? EWA, no.
We're talking WWF.
WWF.
Top 5 overrated for sure.
All right, so let's punch these. Let's get everybody in the ring, and then you guys can talk about it from there. So 29 was Sid Justice. Huge deal at that time.
Almost as big as his traps.
Fucking massive guy.
Absolutely wild pop for Sid Justice when he came out.
How big that guy was. And then number 30 was the Warlord, which was an all-time what the fuck moment for me because I couldn't understand why that was. But guys, I mean, take it from here. The finish was iconic. A lot of things got set up. So
the thing that bothered me. So what happens was at the end of the match, it's Sid Justice. He eliminates Hulk Hogan, which is not
his
done.
Friend apparently.
Because they're buddies, right? And at that point, I like the camera. I don't think they meant to catch it, but Sid Justice looked at Hogan and said, "Every man for himself, buddy."
Also, what they edited out on the network, huge pop for Hogan getting eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd was all into Sid Justice.
That was the thing, and like they set it up so like this is lost on people that it was set up so that we had a double main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And you didn't have Hogan against Flair. I want to deep dive into that some other day, like why that didn't happen. And I don't think there's going to be a real reason for it. But the fact that Ric Flair was the WWF champion and Hogan could have been his challenger, and then they went to WrestleMania and they were in opposite matches.
Were they feuding with Savage right after though? Like, didn't Flair go with Savage and then
that was the thing. Yeah.
Sid? They almost, I think, man, maybe they wanted to split it off because those are 4 pretty big names that could go.
Yeah, back then that's building 4 people. So I mean, I get it, and they were 2 pretty good matches from what I remember.
You have Flair at 42 years old, who's basically still in his prime.
Yeah.
Against Hogan.
I'm sorry, he was 42 here.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me how much smaller Flair is than everyone else.
And that's the problem. Flair wasn't believable to beat Hogan. So from what I feel, I don't know this for a fact, but I just feel like Vince thought, oh, I'm going to put Hogan in there to just thrash him. And he was scared that Hogan would be the heel.
Yeah, he didn't want that. That would make sense then, I guess, right? But also the rumor is that they couldn't come to an agreement on what the finish would be.
Yes. Because
that was a big thing. You go back in history, and Hogan's a big, I want my finish. My finish is the right finish. And if you don't like it, we just won't wrestle.
But speaking of heel, so Hogan's thrown over. Sid says, every man for himself. Hogan grabs his arm in the biggest heel move ever.
Yeah.
And Flair eliminates Sid Justice.
And the pop, not from the crowd, but from Bobby Heenan when Flair is announced the victor, is incredible, which leads us, we're going to go right to it. They go backstage, and Ric Flair, I think, next to the Hard Times Dusty Rhodes promo, is probably the second best promo in wrestling history.
I'd say this is in the top 5 conversation. It's for sure top 5, but it's somewhere in that top 5.
Yeah, you can argue different ones, I guess, right?
Because you
get to see a pump pipe bombs on there. It's got to be
the pipe bomb, Austin 316.
Yeah,
come on.
Oh, that'd be a fun little thing to do. Oh, table that for a flight and a pint later on. But the tear in my eye, like who thinks of starting a promo like that? It's just.
But Pat. Put that cigarette out, eh?
I didn't understand. Did someone have a cigarette? I didn't understand that.
Apparently there was no cigarette. Mean Gene just felt like he needed to break up, and apparently Flair loved it. I've read reviews where there was actually somebody smoking, and I've read shoots where Mean Gene just totally kayfabed that.
This is one of my, not only one of my favorite Rumbles, my favorite Rumble winner, and one of my favorite promos of all time. Like, it just, everything about this match was a perfect storm. Heenan, perfect at the end. Flair in the promo. Mean Gene working with them, put out that cigarette. It encompassed what's great about wrestling when you watch it. Are you crying, Jordan?
No, it's something in my eye. I am also crying though. It was that beautiful.
So here's my question: is Ric Flair's performance in this Rumble, is this the best Royal Rumble performance ever? And mind you, I did mention Chris Benoit. He went wire to wire. Shawn Michaels goes wire to wire. Austin has a couple of good ones. I just gave you a bunch of them, but is this up there?
The mixture of everything that happened in the match, with commentary, with Flair's performance, with everything, nothing beats Ric Flair 92 Royal Rumble. Nothing.
Ric Flair, Bobby Heenan, best performance of all time.
I watched this today. So I'm not like a wrestling history guy. Like, I just watch it for what I like, and I don't really care about anything else. You guys told me it was good, and the thing is like, no hyperbole, it was really good. Like, from the word go, it just all felt like it was happening perfectly. It felt so organic, and how a lot of things happened. Even the fuck ups didn't feel like huge fuck ups.
Like when he threw
Randy Savage did a huge fuck up. Like, it was a huge fuck up, and even, it didn't even feel that bad.
And when Flair throws Sid Justice over the top rope, he kind of stumbles.
Yeah,
you don't even care. It doesn't even matter.
No,
it's perfect. It is as perfect as wrestling can get.
For 30 guys in a ring over the course of an hour, shooting on each other essentially, with guys supposing to do what? Like, you have all these variables. I think that's about as good as it's ever going to go.
As much as the Royal Rumble is my favorite thing in wrestling, as much as it can easily be one of the coolest things, I think the degree of fuck up ability is so high.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always think, What if the guy who's supposed to win is in like that rest position where they're pretending to throw him over? What if
And
he
he
slips
just
and he
goes?
falls out?
And I think we've always seen that happen twice, right? Like we had the Cena Batista incident, which led to one of the greatest Vince McMahon moments of all time of him blowing out his quads. And then didn't we also have there was a Hulk Hogan incident, wasn't there? Where there was another fuck up finish Royal Rumble.
I don't know,
but maybe it was gimmicked. But I'm pretty sure there were 2 Royal Rumble.
Hart and Luger going out at the same time. Supposed to happen.
Oh, that was supposed to happen. Yeah.
No, Jordan's right. There's another one. There's another one. Oh. So the other one is, it's not a fuck up. The one I'm thinking of, it's not a fuck up, but everybody in the building wanted Daniel Bryan to win that Rumble.
Yeah.
And they made Batista.
Yeah.
And they booed the shit out of it, and Vince was livid in the back, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt, end of the day, like cheers, chug, and what is it? Cheers, chug, and
how do you not know? Obviously,
sip, cheers, chug.
Cheers is the best one. And sip is middle, and chug is the worst.
I don't give a shit.
Just told you what it is.
I don't give a shit about any of the other matches before the Rumble.
Hold on. There was other matches on this?
Exactly. You already forgot, right? This is a cheers all day, strictly because of Ric Flair winning the Royal Rumble. It was a great match. The best Royal Rumble of all time. Cheers for me.
It's a cheers. Cheers all day. It doesn't matter what was before it, because it could have been an episode of Sunday Night Heat for all I care. And Jordan, you just watched the Rumble.
Cheers. I mean, I would cheers the Rumble. The whole card is whatever. The Rumble was sick. It was really good. I watched the whole thing. I liked it.
There are not very many Royal Rumbles that I will not cheers. Even a bad Royal Rumble card
is memorable.
I just rewatched 2020s from Minute Maid Park. The card itself is meh. That's a fantastic
Rumble. And I love that the women get their own Rumble now. Like, I know it's not as clean, but I think that's fantastic. Like, I absolutely love that top to bottom.
Absolutely. I agree with you. All right, guys. So we'll wrap it up for this week. God, I love Royal Rumble 92. My favorite Royal Rumble. Okay, so we'll see you next week when we get a flight and a pint going. We'll save the theme of that for another day. You can follow us on Untapped at Pat Gagne, at Gagne Matt with 2 T's, and JSco55. Follow us on Instagram at Bros Bumps and Beers A&D, on Twitter Bros Bumps and Beers, and on YouTube now Bros Bumps and Beers YouTube page. And we will see you next week for another episode. Remember to drink local, support your local breweries. We'll see you next week on Bros Bumps and Beers.